Welcome to my couch. So excited to have you on here. Not just because we know each other.
No, of course.
But more so because of this insane, well, maybe it's not insane, this journey you've decided to go on, which I think a lot of people have thought about recently. I think it's something that's it was in my mind actually. I haven't committed to it, but you have committed to it, and you've committed to it in a massive, massive way. Mm-hmm. So for the sake of the audience, I don't want to steal the thunder. Why don't you tell me, here we are sort of mid-Jan. Tell me what you committed to. This is a New Year's resolution, but this is more than that. Tell me what you've decided to do. Tell us where you're at and what you decided to do.
So I've decided to take a full 20 months with alcohol being completely removed from my life, which started on the 31st of December last year, and it will finish actually on my 35th birthday in August of 2025.
So that's why it's 20 months, because it's an unusual amount, right? So it's not a year and a half, it's even longer.
Correct.
Get that in your head, it's even longer than a year and a half. So that will take you to your 35th birthday, so you'll be mature enough to drink then.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. That's definitely the goal.
Okay, so this is, we on Balance the Grind, there's a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions, how they're going to change their life. The whole site's based around how you're going to live your life better. Mm-hmm. We all know cutting alcohol out is going to make you live your life better. 20 months is a significant contribution, particularly at your age. You haven't got kids, you're not married, you're relatively free of responsibilities. It's the time when arguably you should be drinking. If you look at tradition, what made you make this decision right now? And did you make it like 2 weeks before the end of the year, or did you make it like back 6 months ago and you've been building to it?
Very good question. Yeah, I started thinking about it around my birthday of last year,
so
in August.
Yeah.
And then around October I committed to it. And there was really three sort of things that drew me to the decision. The first was what we're doing with Cub. This year is going to be a particularly large one, with clubhouses opening in Brisbane, potentially Perth, but Perth likely in 2025. Mm-hmm. And me obviously stepping into a head of country role. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of pressure, and a team of people relying on
big team
the
now,
decision.
too.
Yeah, big team. I think we're 22, 23.
Is it really that high? God.
Yeah, across Sydney and Melbourne, and about to grow obviously as well.
Yep.
So people relying on me and the quality of the decisions that I make. The second one was family. I've got a young niece and nephew who are 10 and 12. Jonty, my nephew, starts high school this year. They're both coming to an age where you can have a big impact in these years. Whether you're around or not around is going to affect probably your relationship with them for the longer term. So I think being there and being present, taking him to his cricket and rugby, and Elka to whatever she chooses to do, was a big one. And then the last one, Gracie, was just my health. I wasn't a big drinker, as I sort of shared in my blog. I'm a sort of once every 10 days, once every fortnight sort of drinker. I tend not to drink during the week, but I'm 33. You're kind of getting to that age where you've got the opportunity to change things if there is some underlying issues, which I'm not aware of. Touch wood. But I thought, hey, if there's a time to start taking that seriously, it's now. And part of what I'm going to be doing, as well as not drinking, is doing a bit of a dive into my health more deeply as well. So okay. Those were the three things. Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna follow you for this whole 20 months. So you've also committed to coming and seeing me once a month.
I have.
And we're going to come and maybe filming you do some of the things that you do that are helping you discover your health journey as well. And you're writing your blog as well, which we'll put a link to in the bottom of this video so people can follow you on that blog also.
Sounds like
so I guess what are we? We're the 23rd of Jan. Mm-hmm. So you've been going for just over 3 weeks.
Correct.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about not necessarily other people yet, but let's talk about you. How is it? Has it been hard? Have you found it's getting easier already? Where are you at to with it?
Yeah, look, I found it. I think I found it easy because I made the commitment long before the actual start date.
Yeah.
I hadn't announced it yet, but I knew I was going to do it. I didn't know what date I was going to pick to start. I just thought, I'll go into silly season, and when I feel like, hey, I'm over it, I've had enough, I'll just call it on that day and run the 20 months from there. So. That was the 31st of December, and I'm feeling good. I mentioned in the blog, I feel like this Sunday just gone by, any residual fogginess from the end of year drinking has completely disappeared. my fitness is back to sort of where I usually like it to be. So I'm training again.
Because you've been doing a lot of running this last year, I noticed.
I have, yeah. I've been trying to get out there as often as I can. The plan is to do a marathon this year at some point.
Okay, cool.
That's on the list. So yeah, I'm feeling good, but I feel like this Sunday just gone by was almost really the beginning, because I'm feeling settled into the sobriety.
And let's talk about the other side, because you mentioned this earlier before we started filming. Other people. Like, we all know, if you decide, I know I've had nights where, or I've done dry fever in the past, and a lot of people do that. But if I go out and I go, I'm not drinking tonight because I've got a big work week or something on, people don't like it.
Yeah.
And I think they don't like it not because of you, but because of themselves. It makes them feel uncomfortable. I think everybody feels like they should drink less.
100%.
And so if you're not drinking and they are, I think there's an element of guilt or whatever it is. But generally, you kind of get a positive, negative feeling from some people. How has that been? How many of your friends and family knew before, and how many were shocked, and how's that reaction been from them?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I think it's the way I'd describe it is public jokes and mockery and private support in your message threads or at the pub with the boys. People are going to take shots at you because they've got a lifetime of evidence to suggest that you're not going to be able to pull it off. So I think they want to keep your feet sort of firmly planted on the ground, as they should, and I think that's very in line with sort of Aussie, UK lads culture.
Absolutely.
But what I will say, which has been nice, is all those same people privately, whether it was a one-on-one catch-up or conversation or text message, all of them have expressed their support for it in their own way, which has been really cool. So, there's an interesting dynamic. I think that probably would throw some people off. I think there would be some people that maybe would let that get under their skin a little. But yeah, I think the best thing to do is just laugh along and play the game, and know that those people that do really care about you want you to follow through.
Yeah, it's funny I went through, I did a particular goal last year, which we won't talk about now, but I had a lot of mockery at the beginning of that, and it's quite good when you actually go to achieve it, because there was a lifetime of evidence to show that I wasn't going to be able to achieve that as well. So I understand that. And what about your sort of social situation? Are you avoiding scenarios? Are you just going to everything you were before? Are you kind of half-halfing it? How are you handling that? Because 20 months is a significant amount of time.
No, a great question. I think you can't, it's not something you can white knuckle and just sit at home for that period of time.
There's not that much Netflix, there just isn't.
Without going completely insane.
Yeah.
So I'm actually making a conscious effort to get out, to sort of strengthen that muscle, if that's what you call it, of socialising. And I've sort of gone in with this mentality of, as soon as it feels like work or uncomfortable, because people are getting more drunk or just you're not in a different in the same zone as them, then as soon as it feels like work and it feels challenging, then I'll make my way out. For argument's sake, I had a barbecue on Saturday afternoon, stayed there for a good 3.5 hours. It was a ripper, but I went, it's my time to leave. This is my time to leave.
And that brings me into the beautiful next question, which is very in line with Balance the Grind, is daily routines. So we publish routines constantly, with celebrity routines, all kinds of routines. I'm guessing that yours is changing, because I'm guessing that you're sleeping better. Definitely. I'm guessing you're probably getting up earlier. I'm guessing you're probably going to bed earlier. I don't know. You tell me. How has it affected your daily routine at all?
Yeah, big time. I think just consistency and energy. Like I'm finding it. I'm an early sleeper. I'm in bed by 9:30.
Yep.
But I'm just flying out of bed at 5:30 daily. So making the most of those hours before work has been a big one. I don't mind I don't have to have the same thing every day, but I like to do either a walk, a swim in the ocean, or a gym session before work, and then whatever of those I haven't done in the morning, I'll do in the evening. Yeah.
Have you read the book The 5 a.m. Club?
I actually haven't, no.
So I reviewed it on our website if you want to watch it. Look, it's an awesome book. Yeah. It's written in a very unique storytelling manner, rather than a sort of normal business kind of book. It's cool. I actually listened to it on Audible, which I found really easy. Yeah, you should listen to it, because it talks about that first hour. Because I've been getting up earlier this year as well. It was one of my sort of things I wanted to do. Yeah, you have so much time when you do it. Like, it's so much time. It's quite amazing how much you can get done before 7:30. Read the book or listen to it. Maybe it's when you're doing your walks and stuff. It's really super interesting. I think you might bring a lot of it into your life.
Definitely.
So that's cool. And then lastly, you're going to be exploring a whole heap of different health kind of things. Is there anything particularly you've always wanted to try, or is it you're just going to see what comes up? Because there's so many things, whether it be, whether it be breathing exercises, whether it be cold water baths, whatever it is, those kinds of things. Is there anything particularly you want to try?
Yeah, I think doing a deeper dive into my health in general, like lining up, some blood work, getting a full physical. I probably haven't done that, in a couple of years. So just checking where my health's at, and then to your point, like looking at some other interests as well, because I'm going to have a lot more time to utilize on good, interesting things. So one thing that I've looked at is like surf lifesaving for the back half of this year. I mentioned the marathon. But just other ways that I can use my time.
Are you going to do surf lifesaving at Tama?
Well, that was the plan, yeah.
Maybe you might want to try it. Tama's like...
I need to upskill before
significant step up. Okay, that's awesome. Look, we're going to be sharing your blog. We're going to be doing these videos. I'm looking forward to this. As you know, a friend of ours did this for like 3-4 years. We saw a lot of change in him. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it impacts you. And hopefully our audience is going to love watching you go on this journey.
No, likewise. And I hope it's just fun and valuable for the readers.
That's going to be cool.
Perfect.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Gracie.